Let me start introducing briefly this work. First, let's introduce myself. I'm Saez-Trumper, and from the research team in the Wikimedia Foundation. And what I want to share with you today is a set of insights that we obtained with doing an exploratory analysis of disputes and collaboration in Wikidata. So this is something that we have been discussing with Lydia, and we were doing some questions together, and I would do some data analysis to obtain some insights that are the ones that I want to share today. So we started this idea first looking to this statement disputed by property. If you don't know this property, maybe many of you will know this qualifier. In fact, this is usually used in well-established discrepancies in some factual content. And the first thing that Lydia showed me to understand what was that was this one. So you can see a discussion about the instance of for Jesus, and we said, okay, let's see how much people is using this qualifier and where this qualifier is being used. So we start looking at one snapshot. I think this was in November 2021. And we found that just a few claims contained this statement disputed by a qualifier. As you can see here, less than 2,000. And I checked today how was, and they're less. I think today I saw 1,300 something. And interestingly, we saw that this statement it's widely used in country, and this is usually countries that are disputing some territory. So it's not surprising, probably. There's some very specific cases of, for example, this property 3355 that is a negative therapeutic predictor, and things like that. So basically, this qualifier it's very good for very well established controversies or discrepancies, but it's not usually something that is a controversy between two different editors, for example, two different contributors. We check, as I said, this by topic. And given that you saw that countries is one of the main things where this happens, we check this item by item. We categorize items according to the ORES draft topic model. And you see that, in geography is where you see most of these discrepancies. So you will find things like this, a lot of these ones, like Ceuta, for example, being disputed by Morocco and Spain. You have some dates. Then all of these that were this negative therapeutic predictor. And there's other that are negative prognosis, were in some genetic variants. So this was the most usual thing. You can also find more interesting or more anecdotal things like, in the Barack Obama country of citizenship, you will see that this is disputed by some conspiracy theories, or in the case of the Earth, you will see like who's the creator is also disputed. I saw here, I haven't put it in the slides, but also there's a statement disputed by in the shape of the Earth. That is interesting. So okay, disputed by is it's very useful for looking to disputes that are like well established. So there are two different sources claiming something, and people will use the dispute by. So it's a very civilized way to manage some kind of content with more than one version of a fact, for saying one way. So another thing that we want to study is when people is reverting others and what is related with these reverts. And the main question behind here is if we could find something that was related to the content that was driving some reverts. So for example, if there's specific properties or the specific type of items or specific actions like adding descriptions or things like that that could be related with the reverts. To do this, to analyze this, what we did was to run different machine learning algorithms, basically trying to predict a revert given all this information about data. In this case, I'm showing an experiment where we were looking to the different features that could be content related, like the activity that the person was doing, like adding a link or adding a label or removing something. And what we found is that basically most of the content related features were not really important. The things that were more related with reverts are more related with the account. So basically, edits done by new users, and this I'm talking just about registered users. And by the way, in all these cases, I'm also talking about edits that were done using the Wikidata user interface. That's why we're working with this data from November, because since there we have this tag that tell us when something was done manually. We have done also other studies considering bots, but or automatic tools, but I won't talk about that today. And as you can see, so basically most of the things are related with the page or with the account. So basically, in this other slide, you can see that the age, let's call, of the account. So how many days? I think, yeah, this is an amount of days since the account creation. It's the most correlated feature with the fact that something will be reverted. And we couldn't find something that was very strong related with some specific type of content. So then we start like thinking, okay, but people listen, there's not a lot of edit words. It's very different, like in Wikipedia, for example, that there are much more edit words. And we ask, okay, let's see, even if people is collaborating a lot or not when they edit items. So what we mean here by collaborating, co-editing items. So we found that there's a lot of items that are edited just by one user. And this is what you can see here. So look into the data for 1 month, but we then extended for 4 months and for 6 months, and was not very different. And again, I'm talking about edits that are done using the Wikidata user interface. We saw that in Wikidata, 95% of the items that were edited in 1 month were edited just by one single user account using the Wikidata user interface. If you add all the edits, not only the ones done with the user interface, the numbers decrease, but not a lot. And if you compare this with Wikipedia, for example, in the English Wikipedia, it's around the 76% of users that were editing 76 of the pages that were edited on that month that were edited just by one user. And you can see that the tendency is pretty similar. These are the top 5 most edited Wikipedias in that month. So you can see here in the table of on your right that, yeah, almost 95% of the edit has just one single user. To like 4.5% has 2 users, and then, yeah, edits that are done by more than 10 users, for example, is pretty small. Is 0.002% or something like that. We saw if this was related with the topic, and we compared, like here, what you're seeing here is the ratio of items that were edited for. This is the opposite here, like the percentage of items that were edited by more than one editor. And you can see, yeah, there are some topics that are more collaborative. So here, for example, in STEAM and libraries and information, you have almost 70% of the edits of the items being edited by more than one editor. And you have in the other side, like in the history and society and transportation, you have that around 6% of the items, just 6% of the items were edited just by one editor. So we were wondering what is related with these items to have more than one editor or to have just one single editor. And the answer for that was when we started looking to the items that were more edited, so that has more editors, we saw that was very related with popularity, and that popularity was usually related with events. So what we did was to sum all the page views in the side links of that Wikidata item. And then in what you see in this plot is it's items divided by popularity, meaning that here in the number 9, these are the top 10 top 10% of items more popular with more views on their side links. And you see that in their case, 25% of them, almost 25% of them, were edited by more than one editor. While the less popular items that are not getting a lot of page views in their side links, they have almost no item, less than 1% items that were edited by more than one editor. which were these items, and this list was manually curated by Lydia. So we were looking to the most with the to the items with more editors in that given month, and we saw that almost all of them, yeah, almost all of them were related to some event that was happening. So there was a lot of Nobel prizes, some people unfortunately dying, some breaking news like the Pandora Papers at that moment, or some problems like with the problems with Facebook. So it was really like event driven. So it's let me wait for that. So it's interesting. People tend to collaborate more when there you have an ongoing event. People goes and edit a lot this page, and this is not very different in that in Wikipedia. But when you don't have events, items tends to be edited for in most of the cases just by one editor, and this could be problematic because at the end this means that there's not a lot of ISO, there's not a lot of wisdom of the crowds being applied on that item. What we're doing now, so this what I showed today is just some insights. What we're currently working is in developing a new set of tools. So basically, if you are familiar with ORES, what we want to do is to create a new generation of tools that can replace ORES, and we're doing that for Wikipedia, but also for Wikidata, trying to understand when a given item, what is the quality of a given item, and also what is the edit quality of a given edit. We are training machine learning algorithms for that, and at some point I will ask for help because we need to annotate a lot of data for this, and this is what is our current work doing. And I think that's all. If you want to know more, like all the code and the data that was used in this study, it's in this meta page, and you can find the full report there, the code, and the links to the data. So that's all. Thank you. Oh, the slides are already. I upload like 3 versions in Commons.